Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, February 24th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly. There's a couple things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, perfect. That's good. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys. Here in the premium. All right, perfect. All right, one more place for me to post this. Up over here. All right, perfect. So I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And once everyone's in the room, we'll get started shortly. All right, perfect. So it's one last place for me to post this up, and then we will get started with our analysis in a short while. All right, guys. So I took a couple of trades last night. This is on my personal account. You can see I'm up almost 3,000 for the morning. The trade that I took was this on GU. I just applied the momentum scalp strategy on the higher time frames. I just want to show you guys because someone asked me yesterday. They were asking like, what strategy can they use? You can use pretty much all the strategy. You just got to change the time frame because all the strategies are based off momentum. So like depending on what you guys want to trade. I mean, the strategies work on pretty much everything. It just depends on what time frame you're trading on. So I took these two trades right here last night. Just a momentum scalping trade, but just on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and 8 hour time frames. You guys can see on GU, we had a strong sell bias. This is incorrect. Stop loss is supposed to be up here. It's still running. I just had this as a markup, but basically overall sell bias here. Sell signal that came up here, sell signal here, sell signal here, gold signal bar. I took that sell and then it's currently running right now. I also took this on odd USD. It was a line, same thing. Overall sell bias with regard to trend, sell momentum, sell momentum, sell momentum, gold bar right there. I took the trade and it's been running for a while now. So I'll probably close this out soon, but this is the trade I took last night. I was just showing you guys that the strategies work. There's no excuse to not be profitable trading, whether, you can trade with this in the morning or not. There's strategies that you can apply on higher time frames, on other assets as well. So I mean, it's pretty solid. I forgot to set to pull out, and I'm still in it right now, but I will be closing those out shortly. Anyways, market is opening right now in about a minute, guys. I'm going to post up this link over here for our social media, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, link is posted. Let's get started with our analysis for today. So let's see what's here so far. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Søren. Morning, Peter. Morning, Maria. Let's see who else is here. What's up with my Zoom? Zoom's kind of screwed up. It's not scrolling down. Well, morning, Deswell. Morning, Martha. Morning, Sam. Morning, Shaka. Morning, Karen. Deswell is asking, did you send a signal? No, I didn't send a signal last night. I was going to, but since I haven't traded Forex in a while, I just took it on my own account and then I let it run. So unfortunately, no signal for that. I wasn't even planning on taking it. I just saw the entry and I was like, this looks perfect. So I took the trade there and then I ran with it. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Madhu. Morning, everybody. Yeah, I personally don't like trading Forex because I don't like holding it for too long. But last night I just took it and went to sleep, and then I woke up and I was like deep in profit right there. Looking over here at US30, guys. So enough with Forex for today. US30 right now is currently bearish, as you guys can see. Market just opened. Looking over here on the higher time frames, bearish on the 1 hour, 30-minute, and 10-minute time frames. Prices below the pivots, trend meters red, and the pivots are all angling down. So with that said, we have a very strong sell buy. So over here, there was news at 5:30, high impact news. Let me check the calendar real quick. Yeah, there was news this morning. It was core PCE price index, personal income, personal spending, pretty much inflation news. So inflation news came out over here. It was mixed, mostly positive, but overall negative because it was just positive for that specific news event because it was better than anticipated. But well, we are still going to recession. Inflation is still high, and it's not necessarily good for the actual economy, just for the news event. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this up right here as news price. I'm going to go ahead and mark up further news at 7 o'clock. I don't know why this always happens. Like this happened yesterday too. Let me see if I can fix this. Like this was happening yesterday too. I don't know why this happens. It's super annoying. Let me fix it real quick because I was trying to go ahead, but okay, I just had to refresh it. This happened yesterday too because the new contract is coming in, so it overlaps, but it won't let me move forward. But I just refreshed it. Now it's fine. So we have news coming up over here at 7. I just want to make sure that we're aware of that. News over here at 7. We have Fed member Jefferson speaking at 7:15. So we might want to be a little careful once it gets closer to that time. And I'm going to mark up opening price right here. So, all right, you guys can see market is moving kind of back and forth. There's no clear direction right now. So you probably want to sit tight and just wait for direction to be established because there's just nothing going on right now at the moment. I'll put the requirements over here for the strategies that we're applying. Obviously, the 3 main strategies. One thing that I was discussing with Maddie and a couple of basically the main guys yesterday in our think tank was that typically when we take these entries for any scalp entry, and this is because since I'm planning on starting the prop firm at some point this year, hopefully, I started listening to a lot of interviews and a lot of videos from very successful prop firms. There's a prop firm that we are kind of modeling ourselves after, and they are really good at scalping. Like I'll send you guys the video later, and they know traders that make like up to like 500K in a month just scalping in the morning like we do. They trade exactly how we do, but they do it on a higher scale. So and they trade pretty much all morning, not just like the open. And what they do is typically when they take a trade, like our types of trades here, these scalps that we're taking, they trade exactly how we do. They scalp off momentum just like we do. They typically give themselves about 3 minutes, like 3 candles. So what I was telling Maddie was like, typically when you have an entry, usually it hits right away. And if it's like lingering for a while, it typically kind of screws around, and sometimes it'll hit, sometimes it won't. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to try today is when I see an entry, like a valid entry, I'm going to take the entry, and if the trade doesn't hit within the first 3 candles, meaning first 3 minutes, I'm just going to close out either for a small profit or for a small loss. Because typically that's the case. I did some research yesterday, and I looked at pretty much all the trades from this week. Let me see if I could find. I looked at a lot of the trades from this week, and like yesterday, I think this was yesterday. Yeah, so this is the trades from yesterday. We didn't take any trades yesterday, but there were like a lot of entries that came up. There were like 6 entries that came up. They're all full TPs. The only one that lost here was a manual loss. It would have won, but I pulled out. I would have pulled out early because after 3 candles, it didn't hit TP. So, and I did pretty much, some research throughout the week, and it works out pretty well. So I'm going to try that out probably today. We're going to apply the same types of strategies, but what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to pull out early if the TP doesn't hit within the first three candles. So there's an entry that came up right here. This is a momentum scalp failure. However, actually it's not, never mind. The volume is above average. But it's at these red flags. Again, right here, there's a possible momentum scalp variation. If this candle closes below the pivots over here, this could be a possible momentum scalp variation. But the problem with this is that it's right at the session. So it's a red flag. We still got to keep an eye out for these red flags. We'll kind of experiment, because I was doing some research yesterday too, some back testing. And I noticed that sometimes these red flags don't even matter. I mean, if you factor in the 3-minute rule, I guess that's what I'm going to call it. If it doesn't hit within the first 3 minutes, you just pull out early for a loss or for a small win. So if I see any entries here and they do fit criteria, but there's a red flag, that I'll mark them up and we'll look at them. They're not going to be considered official trades, but we will we'll just follow them, because I'm doing like this. I'm just kind of testing it. I'm forward testing, really, like live session, to see if that theory works. I think the theory does work though, because typically when we have our wins, they hit right away. Like they usually hit on the next candle or the following candle. But if it doesn't win, it usually just lingers for a couple minutes and then it just goes opposite. So I'm gonna play around with it and see what is next. All right, so if this here closes below the pivots, this is technically a momentum scalp variation, guys, but again, not one that I would necessarily take because it doesn't meet criteria, because it's so close to the opening price over here. Or actually, this one might be okay, actually. No, it's not. It's just too close, because even if it closes down below here, it's going to have to cut through the opening price, which is obviously a red flag. No entry here yet, guys. Price is kind of bouncing around. There's no clear direction. I mean, price was bearish. It is bearish long term. So overall, price is very bearish. However, the problem here is that it's not staying below. It just keeps bouncing around. So the 1 hour here is still bearish. 30 minutes still bearish. It's very overextended. That's why it's a little important that you wait for retracement. Because we had this big drop from news over here at 5:30, and price has not come up since then. So still no entry here. The 1 minute is now no longer bearish, I believe. It's neutral right now because price is above the pivots, trend meter is blue, and the pivots are now angling up. So we currently have a bearish bias here on the 10. We have a bearish bias here on the 5, but the bias over here on the 1 minute is no longer bearish at the moment. So we gotta wait for this to come back down. Hey, AR, how's it going? Morning. Morning, Gary. Morning, Brock. Morning, Frederick. Morning, Nice. Yeah, let's see. Frederick said Dow drops more than 300 points as hot inflation report rattles Wall Street. Yeah, definitely. So that's the news that we marked up earlier. And we'll see how this ends up either correcting back up or continuing back down. So price is still pushing up right here. There's no direction right now. First requirement for all the strategies is to look for overall bias, or sorry, overall trend. Right now, the overall trend is currently neutral because the 1 minute here is bullish while the 5 and 10 are still bearish. And again, there's a lot of red flags right here as well. Keep in mind that today's Friday, guys. I don't know if you guys realize that, but today's Friday. I know it's a short week because of the holiday. Mondays and Fridays are typically the riskier days to trade because a lot of people are exiting the market on a Friday. So you're going to see a lot of this like unusual movement on open right here. You can see a lot of people are buying in and then price selling off towards the end of the session. But news price is over here. So if price retraces to news, like prior to news, because news happened right here, this is where price is supposed to be, right? So price is supposed to be up here. This is before news happened. So if price does correct back up, target price point is going to be news price right here. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to happen. This is just, basically a guesstimation if price does correct back up, because this is typically where price was before this big drop after news. And then, price can either correct back up or it'll just continue back down. So I wouldn't necessarily base everything off this, but if price does push up further, target price point is going to be news price, of course. Still nothing going on here. We'll see. There we go. Price pushes all the way back down. This is why I'm saying that you guys need to be a little patient and wait for this to confirm, because there really is no direction here. I mean, overall bias is a sell, so I'm still looking for sells. Overall, I'm looking for a sell here. However, I want to make sure that price is actually going to stay down here before I take the trade, because it was due for retracement. Retracement is finally pulling through right here, and then now it's correcting right back down. So, yeah, a couple things to look out for would be a momentum scalp variation. So momentum scalp variation and momentum scalp still have not played out. If we get a sell signal right here, this will technically be a momentum scalp and a momentum scalp variation. So if the candle here closes with a sell signal, this will be a momentum scalp. If the candle here closes below the pivots, it won't, but without a momentum signal, it won't be a momentum scalp, but it'll be a momentum scalp variation. So you guys see the difference there. Main difference between that analysis is that it could either be both momentum scalp and momentum scalp variation, or it can be one or the other. If there's a sell signal here, it's a momentum scalp. If there's no signal, but this red candle closes below the pivots, it's a momentum scalp variation. If we get price closing below the pivots and it has a momentum scalp, it's both of these entries right here, momentum scalp and momentum scalp variation. So the strategies aren't too difficult. As you guys can see, they're very similar. There's a small difference. For this strategy right here, it doesn't require the momentum signal. For this strategy right here, it doesn't require a breaking close pass. There we go. There's a momentum scalp variation right there. Unfortunately, I didn't take the trade because obviously it's a little too late. The move happened too quickly, and it was also at a red flag. So if you guys took that trade there, great. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. There's an obvious red flag there. I'm gonna put up the red flags again. Basically, any of these horizontal lines on the chart are red flags. When to avoid trades: when price is near sessions, when price is near opening price, and when price is near news price. So we have this green line over here, which is the New York low. That's a red flag. So that's where I would avoid a trade. That there would be a momentum scalp variation though. So we have a momentum scalp coming up here. If this candle closes with the sell signal, it's technically a momentum scalp. But again, when to avoid trades: when price is near opening price. This blue line right here is opening price. So I'm not going to be taking the trade if it closes below, unfortunately, but it looks like it will probably play out. Yeah, Frederick said it happened too fast, way too fast. There's no way I could have caught that. Okay, so right here, this is the momentum scalp entry. If you guys, decided to take it. For this one, I'd use a 25.50 TP stop loss because the range here is pretty big. I'm not taking this trade though because it's right at the red flag, obviously, opening price. You guys can take it if you want. As I mentioned, this is optional. The red flags here are optional, but from my experience, I've been trading for a long time now, especially trading live with you guys. And I noticed that a lot of my losses happen around these red flags. That's why I just avoid trades whenever they come around that area. That's how you guys will get better at trading. You guys will figure out where your weak points are. My weak points are around these red flags. So I just stopped trading around those areas altogether. It's been beneficial for me. I miss out on a lot of trades, but I also avoid a lot of unnecessary losses. So it's really up to your preference. If you're conservative, then you'll follow the red flags. If you're risky, then you'll take whatever trade comes up, right? And this thing over here is pushing through. Yeah, Sam said avoid it. This happened last Friday and I lost it. Yeah, and it lost. Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you too, Sam. That's why I don't really mess with it. Whenever price is near these sessions, I don't really think it's worth the risk, especially because we were scalping. And you guys can see right there, of course, it did hit CP, but not a trade that we were going to take because of the red flags. So, it's up to your preference, guys. I'm showing you guys here the entries, but you guys don't have to take it or you guys don't have to avoid it. It's up to your own preference. If you feel comfortable, then take a trade. If you don't, then just sit out and wait for the next one. For me personally, I'm going to sit out and wait for the next one because I know more entries are going to happen. So red flags right there. This is done with. All the trades pretty much hit CP. If you took any of the trades this morning, applying the strategies, they all would have hit. Momentum scalp failure happened on this green candle right here. This one obviously hit full TP. Right? That's the first entry, momentum scalp failure. This candle right here is a momentum scalp variation, full TP. And this right here would be momentum scalp, also full TP. So, yeah, it's up to your guys' preference if you guys want to take it. I'm doing this for you guys so that you guys can see the difference between good trades and great trades, right? Because these trades are good. It's just they're not great because there's a red flag there. There's whenever you take a trade, or whenever I personally want to take a trade or call a trade here on the live, is I want to be absolutely sure. So I want to be 100% the trade's not going to lose, because I don't want to give you guys bad trades, obviously. So I'm going to take trades that fit all my criteria, including the red flags. But again, up to you guys if you guys want to follow it or not. It's just really up to preference. Nice. Barack said he took it and 10 points. He's out. Nice work, Barack. So some profits over here. So Vincent took that sell right there, the momentum scalp entry. Total profit on Vincent's side, 72.32. Nice work, Vincent. So as you guys can see, some people still take the trades even though there's red flags. It's really up to preference if you guys want to take it or not. You either can or just sit out of it and wait for the next one. So now that price is down here, we're looking for another momentum scalp failure. So I'm looking for a buy signal to come up over here, basically a green momentum signal, because I'm looking for that retracement. So everything already here played out. We're looking for this one to play out again. So I'm looking for price to do this. Price is down, looking for it to retrace and come back down. When it retraces, that's going to be a momentum scalp failure, and then that'll be a possible entry for a sell. This is basically the pattern that we're looking for here. I'm going to go on all the time frames. Everything still looks fine. We got a pending sell signal here on the 10. Still hasn't closed yet. It has about 3 minutes left on it. So we will see what happens shortly. Natasha said, I got to figure out why I'm getting pulled out of my trades early. I have my TP stop loss set, but I'm automatically getting pulled out of trades. Natasha, you probably have your TP stop loss set incorrectly. That's the only thing that I could see that I can think of. So you probably do have your TP stop loss set up, but you probably have it set up incorrectly. Like you're probably putting in the wrong numbers. What numbers are you putting into your TP stop loss? All right, well, here, so send a screenshot of your trades and I'll show you what might be the case. Because if you have your set to those numbers, then it should be fine. But just send in your trades, like a screenshot of your trades, and I'll look at the numbers because it'll show you where your entry happened, where your exit happened. Because it shouldn't be doing that if that's the case. Let's see, Natasha said it, sorry, Rashida said it happens for her too. It might just be the spread. Either the spread, well, I'm looking at the spread right now. Spread's 180, so it's not, it shouldn't be the spread. It might just be slippage. Because if you took these entries over here, these entries came out really quickly. So if you were kind of late with hitting the sell button, you probably, slippage probably happened. Like as soon as you hit it, price spiked down. Other than that, Shannon said, after rewatching yesterday's live and no trading, I see it clearly. Thanks for the clarity. Yeah, no, definitely Rashida. I mean, not Rashida, sorry, Shannon. Yeah, guys. So if you guys noticed the market yesterday, market was super dead yesterday, right? Or it wasn't really dead, but it wasn't really directional. Price was going back and forth. If you look at the market today, it's way different. Like we actually have a direction today, which is perfect. And this is the key. Like you guys have to understand that some days there's just not going to be much movement. And some days there's going to be a lot of movement. So it's just really up to your discipline, being able to wait for the market to actually do what it needs to do. But you can see from today, there's actually some pretty decent direction. Market open right here. Price pushed up and then it corrected right back down. So we're obviously looking for a sell today. But we'll see if we can, find some sort of entry here. Definitely no entries for us to take at the moment. See a question from Glenn. Glenn's asking, when are we going to use the variation strategy again? I mean, you can use it if you want. I'm not going to use it though. I mentioned from earlier this year, these are the only strategies I'm going to be using all year. So I'm not going back to the variation at all. I'm using these 3 strategies because I'm showing people that you can use 3 strategies and do well for an entire year. So I'm not going to any variation. If you have the indicators and the strategies, you guys can apply the variation. The variation still works perfectly fine. It's just, I'm not planning on using a lot of different strategies because it confuses people. I have 20 strategies here. And when someone joins the room and they don't know what we're doing here, there's a lot of confusion. So for this entire year, I'm only going to be applying these 3 strategies right here, Glenn. So if you want to apply the variation, feel free to do it yourself. But on the live session, I'm not going to be applying the variation at all. because I think that's the main problem with a lot of people, especially like Barack. So Barack here, we talked about that yesterday. Barack's problem is that he can't stick to one strategy. I know the variation aligns with these strategies here because it's the same style of trading. It's all momentum based, but to make things easier so people aren't confused and you guys can see that, you know, even if you just stick to one strategy, like this one strategy right here, if you only stick to this one, I'm pretty sure you'll be profitable long term. Because this one's like has the highest probability out of the three. And this one comes up pretty often, like at least maybe once a day or so. So yeah, just a reminder, guys, I'm not applying any other strategies. As you guys can see, I'm not applying any breakouts. I'm not applying anything. I'm only applying these three right here. These and then some of my own trades that I'm taking in the behind the scenes. Like sometimes I'll take a V1 variation or V2 variation, but it's not going to be a part of the official trades. It's only going to be these right here. Yeah, Dejan also mentioned, he said, I use the high, low, and SR rejection mainly, but if Sean identifies a momentum entry, he takes those too. Yeah, so you guys can see that there's other people in the group who've been around longer. Like Dejan's been with us for like over a couple of years now. I mean, 2 or 3 years. And he's pretty much focused on the SR rejection and high, low scalp. So even though I don't apply those here in the live session, you know, Dejan does his own thing. He knows this strategy right here, the high, low scalp. And then also the SR rejection. So, I mean, I have a whole library of strategies that you guys can use and they all work perfectly fine. But for these live sessions, I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So we're just going to stick to these here. Yeah, Sam said, I only use 2 strats, quick scalp and momentum variation. Nice. Yeah, no, I think those are perfect right there, Sam, because those are, they complement each other very well. See, Natasha said she still loves her high-low quick scalp, which she takes. Yeah, a lot of people like those trades. I think you and Maddie really like to apply those. The high-low scalp and the quick scalps. And I mean, I have a lot of strategies here. They all work perfectly fine, but we want to have everyone on the same page. So Deswell over here locked in some profits. So these are his profits for the day, 2,256. Nice work, Deswell. He took the sells right here on open, and then he locked in some pretty solid profits. So he caught that drop right there. Great work, Deswell. We have Natasha over here, total profit of 98 on this one. And then her other account over here, 458 total profit. Yeah, total profit 458 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. So let me see. I think this is the trades that Natasha had a problem with. So she said full TP on the momentum scalp, but didn't get the green strip. So looking at your entry right here, Natasha, I mean, you basically got your full TP right there. But yeah, it looks like you might have got con slippage. Like this has been happening to me throughout the week too. I mean, you're only off by like a couple of bucks, right? Because you're supposed to make 100, I believe. So, I mean, this trade looks fine. It looks like this one didn't close out early. It looks like, okay, this one over here looks like it, I mean, it didn't close out early, but it looks like you got bad entry because it looks like you only locked in less than 100 pips right here, but you did get the green strip. So what it looks like here on this one is that your TP stop loss is perfect. It's set on point. The only thing here is that you're, looks like you got caught in some slippage right there because it seems like your entry should have happened a bit earlier, like at 785, because your exit here was at 775. But you actually got entered like 3 pips or 30 pips late. So this right here was fine. It's just that you got caught in some slippage. And then same with this one up here. So I don't think there's any problem on your end, Natasha. You're doing fine. It's just you're getting caught in some slippage there because the market's just moving too fast. Especially these entries here. If you took the variation momentum scalp, these huge candles here just spiked super quickly. So you probably you hit sell and then it just spiked really quickly past your entry point and you just got caught at lower entry. So you're doing good. Yeah, Nick said triple confluence is a jam. Yeah, triple confluence is pretty solid. That's a trade that like I don't think we've ever had an actual loss applying that. It doesn't come up so often, but when it does come up, it's usually on point. Now I missed the trade right here, guys. I wasn't paying attention. There was a momentum scalp failure that came up super quickly right here. Let me turn off the high lows. I'm getting confused with this. All right, if this candle here closes below the pivots right there, this is going to be a momentum scalp variation. Let me check real quick to make sure there's a sell signal here. All right, so everything lines up. If this here closes below the pivots, it will be a momentum scalp variation. However, we do have news coming in 5 minutes, so we might have to skip this. Thanks, Alan, for the heads up. I totally forgot. I just saw the marking right here. So unfortunately, I think I might be skipping this one, guys, because we do have news coming up right here shortly. Yeah, I'm not going to take it. I'll follow it. Actually, there's no entry there anyways. Thanks, Alan. Like, big thanks to Alan right there. I was about to take it too. And then I realized, I was like, man, this line's really close. And Alan said it's coming up in 5 minutes. So probably want to hold off on taking any trades right now, guys, because we do have news coming up shortly. I mean, it wouldn't matter because there was no entry there, but it is medium news right here. New home sales. I'm expecting this to be very negative. The housing market is not doing so great right now. Revised UOM consumer sentiment. I'm expecting this to be neutral or negative. So for sure, this event's going to be negative. This doesn't mean that price is going to come down. Price should come down, but doesn't necessarily mean it will. Yeah, we got news coming up right here, guys. So we do have a possible entry here for momentum scalp variation. What I'll do here is I'll mark it up for you guys if it does come up. But for me personally, I'm not going to take it. It's too close to news. The last thing I want to do is take a trade and then it ends up like, you know, spiking when news happens right here at 7 o'clock, which is probably going to happen. And you don't know whether it's going to spike in your favor or it's going to spike against you. So I don't think it's really worth the risk, in my opinion. But you know, everyone has their own opinion. So if you guys want to take it, feel free. Doesn't look like we're going to get the entry anyway, so it's all good. Let's see what else we got over here. All right, so that's it for right now. Let me see if there's anything else here that I missed. So let's see, out the Pam over here, she said took the 2 earlier than the failure. Nice. Yeah, so out the Pam over here took 3 trades, all wins. Nice work right there. Yeah, pretty solid. You're really getting it now. It looks like you're I mean, it's all about like, you know, practice. So you've been practicing a lot and it looks like these are hitting for you pretty smoothly. So solid profits right there across all 3 all 3 trades that came up. There's a momentum scalp failure right there, guys. It's currently running in profit, almost a TP. This right here would be a momentum scalp. Unfortunately, we can't take this trade. So the momentum scalp failure right there, momentum scalp variation was right here. This candle closed below the pivot. So that was the entry for this one. And if this candle here closes with a sell signal, this is going to be the momentum scalp. It's too close to news though, so I'm not taking it. Unfortunately, this is what I was waiting for though. So this is what I was planning on taking, but it's just way too close to news. Right there. This candle closed below the pivots. Overall trend was a sell. There's a sell momentum signal for the 5 and 10. Everything lined up perfect. So this was the entry that I was planning on taking. Nice. Natasha took it. So nice work right there, Natasha. And there's another momentum scalp possibly coming here, but this is like literally right next to the news event. So I'm definitely not going to take this one. If this one came up earlier, like way earlier down here, it would have been better, but it didn't. So that's why I didn't take it at that point. Here's a momentum scalp entry. It's currently running in profit, but it's right next to the news event. So this is going to be really risky if you guys are in this position because price is likely to spike up or spike down when this news candle comes up in the next, 40 seconds or so. It's too close. So nice work, Natasha, on catching that there. Here's Brock. Brock locked in a total profit of 1,625 on this account. And then the second one over here, total profit of 2,290 for the day. Solid work, Brock. And then Rashida over here, she said she made a mistake on the first one. Profit's profit. Yeah, it happens. So she made a small mistake over here on the first one, but she made profit on this next one right here. So total profit of 81 for the day. How's TFF? Or is this TFF? Oh, I think this is different. Sorry, it's not TFF, it's TTF. I was like looking at your profits. I was like, man, she's back on TFF, but this is a TTF. So solid profits right there. I still don't okay, top tier, got you. Does top tier allow copiers, Rashida? I'm not sure if you know. Oh, cool. I'm gonna take this off real quick because I'm not in this position. Anyways, here's a news candle right here. you guys can see this is exactly what we were anticipating, right? This is why I didn't want to take any trades in your news, because this big candle just came up right here. This is the news candle. You can see the big wicks on both sides. I'm going to mark up news price right there. So this is why we avoid trades at news, because you get these weird candles like this. Here's Natasha, total profit of 561. Nice work, Natasha. She's been killing it all morning, taking these momentum scalp variations, momentum scalp failures, momentum scalps, straight wins. So solid profits right there, Natasha. Let's see, Deswell over here, 2,200. Deswell again right here. Shaka, if we have time a little later, I'll pull up the trades that you were looking at. So Shaka sent me some trades. He said he took some losses yesterday, and I was trying to figure out, when do we look for when the trade is when the trend is ending. He took these trades over here at 921. So I'll take a look at these a little later, Shaka, and we'll see if also, which strategy were you applying, Shaka, if you want to put it in? Time. Okay, variation. Perfect. Thanks, Shaka. I just saw your message in the Zoom. Yeah, so we'll take a look at that later. I don't think, well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I was looking at the chart at 9, but I was looking at it after the live session yesterday because I was really tempted to take a trade and I just didn't see an overall trend, so I didn't take anything. But we'll take a look at it later if we have some time. Right now, obviously, we're trading right now, so if the market dies down or if price just goes in the opposite direction and there's no room for entry, we'll take a look a little later. Yeah, thanks, Alan. We have 2 Fed speakers today as well. So thanks, Alan, for the heads up on that too. We have Fed member Jefferson speaking over here at 7:15. Let me check my FX book. Today's just a heavy news day, so you could expect a lot of crazy movement. Yeah, we got 2 Fed speakers, Fed member Jefferson and Fed member Mester, which is coming up pretty soon. I have marked up right here with the red line. So what we might get right here, guys, is we might just get a flat market. So price might just go sideways for a bit until the Fed starts speaking, because a lot of people are waiting for that. So we might just get a sideways movement like this until the Fed speaks right here at 7:15. There's 2 Fed speakers speaking, so it'll probably go on for maybe 30 minutes or so, or maybe even longer. Oh, my yawn indicator. This movement here is coming back up. So price is pushing up right here. This could be a possible momentum scalp failure if the volume is below average, but typically I don't take this entry here. Looks like price is going to push above the average. So yeah, again, right here, there's no momentum scalp failure because the volume is too high. So no momentum scalp failure here. Yeah, there just isn't anything for us to take right now. Let me go back real quick. Let's take a look at everything. Okay, the 5-minute here, 10-minute, everything is still bearish. So the sells are still fine. It's just price is super high up right now. Let's go on the higher time frames over here. The 1 hour still bearish, 30 minutes still bearish, 10 minutes still bearish, but we'll see how long does it hold for. So I do think price will come back down from this point. It's just, obviously a matter of time until it actually does, but I do expect it to probably make its way back down. Nice rejection off the pivots right there. So target price point here, if price does come back down further, is going to be news price. That's probably where I see price going down to. So there's a wick rejection on both sides here on the 1 minute. So I don't know if this will just come right back down or if it's going to kind of linger for a bit, because there's wick rejections on both sides, not necessarily a confirmation of direction. So whenever you guys are looking at these wick rejections, guys, make sure you look at the both sides, because if you get a wick rejection on both the top and the bottom, that shows uncertainty, right? This is called a doji right here. So this right here is a reversal pattern or a reversal candle, basically. Price is pushing up. This right here indicates that there's going to be some momentum pushing in one direction or the other. So as you guys can see right here, price actually pushed up higher. The 10-minute here is still having trouble. So like you guys can see over here on the 10, price is still rejecting off the pivot right there. This has 4 minutes left on the candle, so it still has a lot of time. Price can still come back down from that point. But right now you can see where price is currently at. It's at opening price. And typically when price is near opening price, there's a lot of manipulation around this area, right? So let's go over here to the clean chart. Price over here is rejecting off the opening price. I mean, one of two things will happen. Price will either bounce off it and come back down super heavy, or it's going to break through and push up super hard. But this area right here is just an area of manipulation. Price is currently at baseline right here. So it's really hard to predict where price is going to go, right? Because price can really go either way from this point. I think this was a good indication right here of like uncertainty as well, because this candle here looked like it was going to drop, but then realistically it had a big wick rejection off the top and a big wick rejection off the bottom. No body, so no true direction right now specifically. Price right here is having trouble getting past the opening price, typically normal right there. This might be a variation actually. Yeah, if this here closes with a red candle, this is actually a variation B1. So it might come down from here. But it's at opening price, so it's still a red flag. All right, just waiting for price to get away from opening price right here. We typically don't want to trade around any of these areas, these horizontal lines. When price pushes away, great. If not, then just gotta wait. Ross is asking, are you still using the gold bars? I should be. I don't know if it's on right now. Let's turn it off. Yeah, the gold bars are still right there. Well, I mean, they're still on now. I just turned them back on. I don't really need them. So like the gold bars aren't really necessary. I mean, you can use them if you want, but for me, I'm looking at all these charts here. So I can see there's a sell signal there. So for me, it's not really all that necessary because I'm actually actively checking the charts. But yeah, I mean, it's useful. I wouldn't base everything off the gold bars though. So if you guys do see a gold bar somewhere around here, I would still be careful about taking entry. Okay, there's a possible momentum scalp and a momentum scalp variation coming up right here, guys. If this candle closes below, a little bit of a issue here is that this candle here is kind of big. So if it's too big, it might be an issue for us to reach our target, because the target down there is a little far off. Yeah, let's see. Never mind. So I didn't actually close. All right. So this here is still a momentum scalp entry, but I'm not going to take it because I just don't like the way the candle is moving. If it closed below the pivots, then I would have taken it. But yeah, this is like, it's a weird candle. If you guys can see here, it's the same thing that happened earlier. There's a wick rejection off the top and also wick rejection off the bottom. The candle didn't really close too smooth. Like if this closed below here with the sell signal, it would have been great because it would have been both a momentum scalp entry and a momentum scalp variation. But since it didn't, and it kind of pushed up right here, again, it had a top and bottom wick rejection. So this just points out that there's uncertainty in the market right now. There's no direction right now. Like it can really go either way. We have another attempt right here. If this candle does close below, possible momentum scalp. Variation momentum scalp. I'm probably going to go for 100 pips because the news price is down here and it's just too close. So I'm not going to have enough room for me to, reach my TP if that becomes the case. So if this here closes, I'll take it. I'll probably only go for like 100 pips. It's got to make sure it actually closes though, because these candles here are not looking good. I'm not going to take it, guys. So the candle here is closing, but I'm not going to take it. It's just the movement right here is not, it's not clear. So you can see right here that it looked like it was going to close below, but then at the last second it pushed up. It's not a good area. Like the way that these candles here are moving, not too good. And there's big wicks on both sides. So you can see that a lot of volume here is dying down as well. Yeah, exactly. Natasha said the wicks are big. Yeah. So I'm not taking this trade here, guys. I was tempted to take it, but I'm not going to take that risk. Today's Friday. It's not really the day to take any unnecessary risk. And you can see how slow the market's moving now. Volume's dying down incredibly. It's like it was moving super fast here. And then now it's like starting to die down a lot. So it would have hit TP, but it's okay. I'm not looking to take anything too risky here. There's a possible momentum scalp right here, but this candle here has not been able to close with that sell signal. It keeps having issues. It'll have the sell signal pending, and at the last second, it'll just disappear because price pushes right back up. Yeah, so I'm just gonna hold off right now, guys. Unfortunately, I missed out on like a lot of entries today because for one, there was a lot of red flags, and then for this over here, just a lot of uncertainty because the wicks here are pretty big. You don't want to take trades when there's too many wicks on both sides. If there's a lot of wicks on one side, like for example, a lot of wicks on top, right? That's fine because you can take sells and you don't have to worry about it because you know price is going to come down further and further. But when you have wicks on both sides, like how price is currently moving right now, there's wicks on both sides here, right? Top and bottom, top and bottom, top and bottom. These are not good areas to make entries because price can easily just spike up, you know, like 300 pips, stop you out, and then come back down to your TP. So I think a lot of people are just sitting out or just like, there's a lot of uncertainty right now because the Fed's going to speak in about 4 minutes. So yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly. Gary said dojo for the fast, for the last 4 minutes. Yeah, not a good sign. Top and bottom wicks on pretty much all these candles for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 candles here. Yeah, CT said consumer income way down, but consumer spending up. Not good unless you are a credit card company. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Justin mentioned the gold bars are good if you're only using one chart. Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, I don't like, well, I don't really mind the gold bars, but I like having the colors here so I can kind of see what to anticipate. That's why I personally don't like using it all the time. It's good, but it's not, it's kind of confusing sometimes, like when you're trying to figure out, you know, what to anticipate. But I mean, if it doesn't bother you, then it's fine. It doesn't bother me too much, so I can leave them up. But a lot of times I do like looking at the actual color of the bar. So this right here, guys, is a momentum scalp entry. Unfortunately, I'm not going to take it because for one, the TP stop loss should be 225.50. Like this should be the TP stop loss for this entry here. But you can see if we do take that type of TP stop loss, we got to cut through the news price right here, which is the pink line. So that's obviously a red flag right there. If we were to use a 1030 split, this would kind of be okay. It looks like it already went straight to TP, but it's kind of a tight move, right? So I'm just being safe today. Today's Friday. I don't want to throw away my profits from this week. I know this week's been kind of iffy as a whole. So I'd rather not risk it if not necessary. See some profits over here from Eunice. So Eunice actually took it right here. So Eunice said didn't take anything, and then he took the 10-minute the momentum scalp for 100 pips. So he took the trade that we were waiting for. This is the one that I was actually waiting for right here. Eunice took it, total profit of 302 for the day. Nice work, Eunice. Yeah, not bad. All right, we got the Fed speaking right now in about a minute, guys. So I'd probably hold off on taking the entries. What you want to wait for is you want to see how price reacts to it. So, I mean, I'm probably going to follow the charts, see if people actually start trading off the Fed. And then I'm going to see if I can find a correction. So what I'm looking for here is I kind of want this to happen. So I'm going to open up the 1 minute. So the Fed's going to speak here at 7:15, right? I want the Fed to push price up. I want them to push price up, and then I want to catch the continuation back down. So I want them to talk, say good things or say some fake things about the economy, and then push price up. Because, you know, typically they're looking for good things to say. The thing with today is that we have two Fed speakers speaking. We have Fed member Jefferson and Fed member Messer. I can't remember who is going to be the new head. I forgot who was listed on CNBC because I believe, wait, What's this right here? I think Fed member Jefferson's and they already started speaking. I don't know. Because it says 8 o'clock or no, 7:15. Okay, never mind. They just started speaking. My bad. So yeah, they just started speaking right now. I just saw this down here that was blinking. I've never seen this before, but it's kind of cool. It gives you the countdown for events. All right, so they're speaking right now. I'm not sure what they're saying. I don't think it's live streamed. Trying to figure out what this is for right here. Unless I accidentally, oh, never mind. This was the news from earlier today. I don't know why it's in such a weird place. Let me check the news from today. News was at 7 o'clock. I don't know why this bar is here. Let me clean this up. So there was news over here at 7 o'clock, which was right here. I don't know why the bar was kind of off. So the Fed's now currently speaking, guys. I would not recommend entering any trades right now. I'd wait to see how price reacts to the Fed, depending whether price goes up or price goes down, and then see if there's a correction after it. That's typically what I would do. That's what I've been doing lately too. So one thing that I started to notice too, and this is kind of what influenced my Forex trades last night, was that I look for news. So like for example, over here, let me just show you AUD/USD. So for AUD/USD over here, see how there's a news event right here? Or this is not a great example. Like basically I look for a news event. So you see how price is in a downtrend. And if there's a news event right there, actually, no, this is a good example. So the news event happened right here, right? I'm going to draw a line. So there's a news event right here, but price is in a downtrend. So what I look for is I look for price to react to the news. So we have a news event right here, high impact news for US. Price actually does the opposite right here. So here's a cool thing. If you guys see price go opposite of trend, so like trend's going down, you already know the direction. The news over here pretty much influences price to go the opposite way. When you see a reversal pattern, like a variation V1 over here or V2, you see the double body. This is where you can make an entry for a sell. Right? And you can take this for a pretty nice trade. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here too for US30. These concepts work for pretty much all assets. You don't have to use it for US30. You can use it for Forex. I actually use this for my GU position too. You guys can see right here, there's a big news event, push price up. I saw a V1 variation right here, and that's where I made my entry actually. I saw the V1 right there. I was like, okay, price is supposed to come down. I saw price push up. It was a V1 variation, and I took the sell right there. So I took a V1 variation here, but I also took it for a momentum scalp. So I saw this down here, and I was like, okay, this is going to come down further. So I took it for a momentum scalp, but I use this as a confluence. Same with like US30 over here. We had news with the Fed speaking here at 7:15. I was kind of hoping price would push up a little bit. I mean, price might still push up. So right here, you can see price is starting to push up. I want this to kind of push up a bit. And then when I see like a momentum scalp variation, price come back down, then I'm going to be okay with taking the trade back down because I know the overall direction is for a sell. So like little things here that you guys can use as confluences. There's no specific strategy to it, but you can use it as the confluence. So if you see something like this happening, so price is now pushing up, the Fed's price saying stuff that's good for the economy, but I don't think it'll hold. So I think price will push opposite direction. And then when it comes back down, that's where I'm going to be looking for my entry. Right. So there's just these inconsistencies that I see in the market. After trading every day for years now, I start to see a lot of these things in the market. I also listen to like a lot of the top traders in the world, not like any YouTube traders, like, not to like bash on any YouTube traders, but people who trade for like actual institutions and stuff. So what I typically do is like in my free time, I'll listen to interviews from like people who make like 6 to 7 figures, monthly. And I see like what they do. And typically what they do is they look for a catalyst. Catalyst is going to be news. So like, for example, right now we had news at 7:15. There's no specific time frame for the news, but the Fed's probably going to speak for like 20 to 30 minutes. So between this period over here from 7:15 up until 7:35, there's like a window right here where you can see how price reacts to the Fed. So as they speak, you want to see whether price goes up or whether price goes down. If price goes up, you're going to expect a correction back down. And then vice versa, if price comes down, you're going to expect a retracement back up and then a continuation back down. So a lot of different things that you guys can use here. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of tools that you guys can use. I mean, basically whatever I cover here on the live session is pretty relevant, right? If I look at trend, or if I look at momentum, or if I look at news, or if I look at even sentiment, right? Sentiment over here is currently, I mean, everything's pointing towards a sell. You can see over here for sentiment, currently there's 58% of retail traders who are currently buying right now. So everything lines up for a sell. Right here is indicating that we should do the opposite, sell. And then also looking at this over here for the higher time frames, everything's in a sell bias, right? We have a sell trend over here on the 1 hour, 30 minute, and 10 minute. We also have a sell trend over here on the short term as well, on the 10, 5, and 1. So yeah, price is still dropping, but I was kind of hoping price would retrace up so that we can have some sort of entry here, but it's not looking like it right now. It's only 7:21 though, so we still have some time until 8. However, let's see the profit so far from everybody in the group. Seth over here is currently at 13,398 for the day. Nice work, Seth. He had one small loss on the bottom, but solid profits overall. Barack over here currently at 2,820, all wins. Nice work, Barack. Yeah, so Barack said good for the day, and he's done for the week. Solid, Barack. Good work. Rashida over here took another sell earlier, total profit of 246 for the day. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, I'm glad that you're trying out top tier because I was looking to use them, but before they didn't use any, they didn't allow copiers, so I wasn't able to use them. But that's probably one that I'll probably try and test out sometime in the future. Nice. Yeah, so this is good right here that you're journaling, Barack, because now you'll understand, you know, where you're losing trades. So right here, you won all your trades, and then you pretty much mark it, you know, red flag, everything else was good. And then this one right here too. Entered a little early, risky review, solid. Yeah, no, it's good. That's a step up. So yeah, now that you're doing that, you're going to start to understand, you know, where your mistakes happen. So just keep journaling your trades, Barack. And if you guys have problems with consistency, this is key. You should do something like this, what Barack's doing. He pretty much journals all of his trades. He saw that he used strategy 1, my momentum scalp, and then a couple other entries over here. So he has all wins. But the thing that the thing that's going to be important is identifying where the losses happen. So the wins are great, but when you have losses, you want to make sure that you actually study those losses and figure out what you did wrong or what you could have done differently. I mean, that's pretty much how I mastered all of these strategies. A lot of these strategies are just trial and error. I came up with an idea and then I added more criteria to it, and then I perfected it. And now it's, you know, one of the main strategies we use here every day. All right, still nothing coming up right now at the moment. Yeah, I mean, price is pretty far down. So the 10-minute over here is pretty far down. The 5 minutes pretty far down too. So I'm looking for a retracement here on the 5 and 10, like price to probably come up and retrace to test the pivots, right? Because it's just too far down right now. Eventually it's going to have to retrace up. It can't keep dropping forever. Yeah, Dijon said every time I've lost it, every trade I've lost is because I either skipped steps on the strat or I made something up based on my own biases. Yeah, no, and that's usually the thing, Dijon. So like for me personally, you know, I stick to my strategies pretty much to the T. Like if there's no entry here, I'm not going to force any trades. I make sure that all the criteria is met. If the criteria is met, then great, I'll take the trade. But if not, then I'm not going to, you know, hop into anything that's too risky here. So like what Dijon said, he said whenever he loses the trade, it's because he skips a step or he kind of makes up his own thing. So the key thing is consistency. If you guys have a strategy, whether it be my strategy or your own, just make sure that you follow the steps every single time. All right, price is still dropping right here, but I'm still waiting for that retracement. Looking over here on the higher time frames, does not look like price has retraced up yet. I mean, price is overextended. Obviously, you guys can see here on the 1, price has been dropping for There was a small retracement right here on open, but since then price has dropped about 1,500 pips. So it's definitely due for a retracement right here. And also the Fed's currently speaking. Let me check if there's any other news here that we might be missing. I don't think there's anything else for today because today is Friday. We have Canadian news at 8 o'clock, not necessary. We have news later today at 10, also not necessary. Looking at the calendar over here on Forex Factory. No, there's nothing. Yeah, so there's not really much for us to look at here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, there's just nothing for us to take right now. I'm still looking for something to come up here. Possible momentum scalp failure coming up right here. I'm probably not going to take this because it's due for retracement. So if price comes back down, I'll look for momentum scalp variation. But for right now, if this here closes as a momentum scalp failure, probably not going to take it, just being straight up. All right, so if this buy signal closes right here, it's a possible momentum scalp failure. The thing to look out for is going to be news price right there. So also, you guys want to keep in mind that the Fed is still speaking right now. It started at 7:15. It's only been like 10 minutes, so they're probably still speaking at the moment. No buy signal right there, so no entry for a momentum scalp failure. We're just looking for that green bar there. If the green buy signal comes up, it's going to be a setup for a momentum scalp failure. Yeah, Frederick said, good job, Brock. Ensure to post it every day here. It'll be your accountability. Yeah, and I agree with Frederick 100%. So yeah, Brock, you know, when you, for all your trades that you take, just journal them and post them up daily. If you post them up daily, it'll help you be accountable. So if you ever make a mistake, you'll know how to fix it. Because I think the main problem with a lot of traders is that they make a mistake and they never fix it. So they just keep making the same mistake over and over again. Dejan to the UN is speaking right now as well. Cool, thanks to know. Good to know, Dejan. Let me check CNBC real quick. So looking across the board over here, guys, pretty much all of the indices are currently down. So looking at the Dow is currently down 500 points, a lot. S&P is down 67 points. Nasdaq's down 268 points. Oil is down 1%, and the 10-year bond is up. Let me check this real quick. I'm gonna go to US. Okay, so looking at the US here, I mean, it's still pretty down, but it's not as bad as pre-market. Looking over here at the US, the Dow is down 479 points, still pretty bad. S&P is down 63 points, Nasdaq's down 230 points, Russell 2K is down 26 points, and the VIX is currently up 7%. So there's a lot of layoffs going on. So if you guys have seen over here, this is Ericsson to lay off 8,500 workers as part of cost-cutting plan. So, you know, we're getting closer and closer to this recession reality that people have tried to avoid, but the recession is coming. So with that happening, you know, a lot of these companies are going to go down. So I'm expecting the market to keep dropping lower and lower. All right, so there's not really much here to look at the moment, but that buy signal never came up. Yeah, Barack's definitely taking advantage of the K2 group training. Good day, y'all have a great weekend. Sean for the live. Yeah, no, definitely, Barack. We'll see you back here on Monday. So have a great weekend. I'm pretty sure you might be coming back. Barack tends to say he's leaving, then he'll come back in like 10 minutes with like another 1,000 profit. But maybe today he'll actually call it a day. Yeah, you did pretty good today, Barack. So if you don't need to trade, well, I'm pretty sure you don't need to trade necessarily. Yeah, just call it a day. So yeah, if you're done for the day, I'll catch you back here on Monday. Pretty good, 2,820 for the day and all wins. So this is going to work on your discipline as well. It's staying away from the charts. So as you guys can see, there's nothing going on with price right now. Price is pretty much just going sideways. Let me go ahead and just mark up this right here. There's not really much going on. I mean, price is still dropping, but I was looking for that retracement up. Yeah, Maddie said price is squeezing. So what Maddie means by price is squeezing is that price is pretty much getting tighter and tighter. Whenever this happens and price starts to squeeze like this, another thing that you guys can look at as well to confirm the squeeze is the volume down below. You guys can see the volume here starting to get smaller and smaller, right? So what typically happens in price squeezes is it gets tighter like this and it's preparing for a breakout. So I'd be really careful about taking the entries right here because at some point price is going to break out either above or below. So yeah, expect a breakout to happen at some point. I don't know when, but it's going to happen at some point as price continues to squeeze tighter and tighter. See some profits here from Martha. Martha's up 80 for the day. Nice work, Martha. Just a quick little win there. Not bad. Yeah, Natasha said it's due for a breakout. I agree. Yeah, I don't really care where it breaks out to. It could break out to the top or break out to the bottom. I personally would prefer that it breaks out to the top because we can catch it as it comes back down. Overall bias is still a sell, so I'm still looking for a sell here, but I don't want to take a sell that's so deep down here because it's due for retracement, right? Price has been dropping over 2,000 pips here. So it's dropped quite a bit. It's due for it to come back up at least a little bit. So what I would prefer here is I would prefer price come up quite a bit. So price drop right here. I want it to come up and then come back down, like come up and retrace to like the pivots or something like that. Once it retraces to the pivots, then continuation back to the downside. Sarah's asking, how do I get the YM1 on TradingView? So you just type in YM on your chart and it'll be the first one right here. Click on that. That's going to be the YM data. If you're not paying for the data, it's going to be delayed. So like right here, it's probably going to be yellow for you and it'll be delayed like 10 minutes. You have to pay for this data because this data is directly from the exchange. It's only $4 a month. So it's not really it's not a big cost. I think it's worth it because you get the best data. You get like basically pure data because this data is straight from the exchange. So you can see right here, it's directly from the Chicago Board of Trade. If you type in US30, this data here is from each broker. So like currency.com is a broker, Black Bull is a broker, capital.com is a broker. All these brokers, they can set their own data and set their own price. So you'll see that if you pull up any of these data here, the pricing is going to be different for every single one. And the spread is going to be different too. For this here, YM, we're getting this directly from the exchange. So you have like the pure data, like this data is like the raw price. It's not really changed at all. And this is basically the data that's the fastest out of all of them because all of this broker data over here, they pull their data from the exchange, but then they set it at their own settings. So they can either have it delayed by a few seconds, delayed by a few pips. You'll see like a little difference between each data set, but that's how you would get it. And if you want to pay for the data here to get real-time YM data, you just go to your billing settings on TradingView and then you add extra data. It's going to be the CME group. It's like $60 for like a year. So like $4 a month, which is not bad. I think it's worth it because if you take one trade here and you win a trade with like, the best data, you make that back within, one trade or so. Like one trade, you pretty much cover your whole year of data. Let's see. Kevin said he's waiting for the double bottom to form on the 4-hour, and that's where he anticipates the bounce. Here, let's see what he's looking at. Oh, that's got a long way to go though for a double bottom because there's not even a bottom. Like this candle would be the bottom right here. This is going to be the next 4 hours. By the time the double bottom comes up, Kevin, it's going to be market close because the next candle here won't close till like, yeah, there's only one other candle here on the 4-hour. Or are you talking about a different rejection? Or you might be talking about this. So yeah, if you're talking about this here, then okay, I could see that happening. I thought you meant like side-by-side candles. So let me check real quick. So I think this is what Kevin's looking for over here. I mean, the double bottom kind of played out already, didn't it? I mean, where it technically did. Yeah, so that's exactly where Kevin's looking right there. I mean, this candle right here is technically the double bottom or triple bottom, actually. There's 3 rejections right there. 1, 2, and 3. So it looks like the triple bottom actually played where it formed, but the problem with this here is that this candle here actually broke below. So a little bit of an issue there. For me personally, I like to see the clean rejection, but for this right here, I mean, this was a clean rejection on the previous candle. And then it, yeah, this next one over here is kind of, so it depends on how this closes right here. This candle just opened, so it still has 3 hours left on it. But yeah, this 4-hour candle right here is a doji right now. So there's like a lot of uncertainty. I guess this would be the key here. If price closes below the structure, then it's probably going to keep dropping. If it doesn't, then it's probably going to bounce back up further. So yeah, no, I agree with your analysis right there. Kevin, what's good? I guess we'll see how it plays out. All right, so here on the 30-minute, as you guys can see, there's actually a double bottom. This is a V1 right here. So this might align with Kevin's analysis too. So Kevin saw this double bottom here on the 1 hour, or on the 4 hour actually. On the 30-minute right here, if this here closes, it'll be a double body. And then it can probably indicate a swing back to the upside. I mean, who knows? Yeah, Kevin said he's now waiting to see it for retest. Yeah, no, it's a good game plan right there. All right, price pushed back up or retraced up slightly, not super heavily, but it did retrace up slightly right here. I see the wick rejection here on the 5. If this here closes and then we get another wick rejection over here on the 1, then I'm expecting it to possibly drop a little further. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a wick rejection yet, but if we do, probably expecting it to drop at least a little bit. Candle here is starting to move a little more volatile. Natasha's asking, are the Fed still speaking? I have no idea, but they probably still are. They started speaking at 7:15. I'm pretty sure they're taking turns. So probably the first Fed member spoke, probably took maybe 10 or 20 minutes. And then the second Fed member is probably still speaking right now. So that's why I'm a little cautious with my entries, because I don't want to enter a trade and then all of a sudden price goes the opposite way because they say something that affects the market pretty heavily, because that's normal. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for this 5-minute candle to close. This candle has about a minute left on it. So if this candle here closes and we get a top wick rejection like that, then this is an indication that price is probably going to come back down. This 1 minute here, not yet, but I'm waiting for this here to close. So like basically one more candle here, and then the next candle, if they both close with a wick rejection, then odds of it dropping lower are pretty likely. All right, so it doesn't look like it's going to play out over here because there's no top wick rejection on this candle. But this here will still be a hint. So if you get a wick rejection right here on the top, odds of it coming down a little lower are very likely. The 1 minute over here didn't have a top wick rejection off this current candle. I was hoping we get the same one on the same exact candle, and that could be a speculative move for you, because if we have that rejection right there, you can at least catch 100 pips, right? Easy 100 pips. But we don't have the wick rejection over here. It might be on the next candle, so I'd probably wait for the next one to come up. Or it might be this one if it pushes up high enough to touch the pivot right there. All right, so this is actually tricky. Looking over here on the 5, we did get the top wick rejection, but it is a doji. So I don't. Those are like the worst candles to look at, the dojis. Those usually don't give you much certainty. Okay, so if this here closes off this next candle you can, hint, hint, you could possibly take a speculative sell there because I'm expecting this rejection and this rejection to continue dropping enough to at least make like 100 pips or so, right? So if you guys want to take it for a speculative move, you guys can. I'd consider it risky, but I'm expecting it to at least drop like 100 pips or so. Like at the very least. But you got to make sure that it actually closes with a red candle. Like it can be coming up like how it is right now. So you got to wait for it to actually close. Still has 15 seconds left on it, so it's got some time. But yeah, I do expect it to, at least drop 100 pips or so. So we'll see where this ends up going. And we'll just follow it. So 100 pips right there. I'm expecting to drop at least 100 pips. Confirmation on both. Let's see. Oh, they're doing a raid? I didn't even know that. Yeah, Dijon said, no, they're doing a raid. Where'd you see that at, Dijon? Or are you joking? Can't tell if you're being serious or not. Okay, so I took the speculative sell there. I locked in partial profit. It didn't give me a green strip. So I did what I mentioned right here, guys. I mentioned I was going to drop at least 100 pips. It filled my order, went straight to TP, and it gave me only 830. So it's something. But, I did give you guys the hint there that I was going to drop at least 100 pips because we had the wick rejection. Dijon said, oh no, I was joking because of the feds. Because Natasha responded to you. She said, right, that's why I was asking. So which rate are you talking about, Natasha? Or are you joking too? I can never tell if you guys are messing around or not. But you guys made it sound believable. Because if you guys are wondering what we're talking about, Natasha asked if the feds are still speaking. Dijon said, no, they're doing a raid right now. And Natasha said, right, that's why I was asking. So I wasn't sure if they were being serious or not, but I think the Fed's still speaking. I don't know. They usually don't finish right away. They take at least like 30 to 40 minutes, especially if there's two Fed speakers speaking, at least 20 minutes each. All right, guys. So I took a small like speculative trade there. Obviously I didn't make that much off and I made a little bit. I didn't even get the green strip. I think there's probably some slippage there. So let me go ahead and just post up my profits real quick. Take it for a quick 100 pips. So you guys can see like there's my thought process with identifying these speculative moves, right? These speculative moves aren't always good, but if everything lines up, then typically it's good enough to take at least 100 pips. So like there's my entry right there. I took the trade locked in 830. So let me just take a screenshot of my individual accounts so that you guys can see what I did here. Yeah, there's no green strip. I think probably what happened was it triggered my TP and then it pulled up because it did retrace up a little bit after that. All right. So this trade's not an account towards the results. Obviously, there's no strategy there that was taken. It was just speculative because I saw the rejection and I knew price was going to come down at least 100 pips. Doesn't always happen, but everything was lined up. Everything was lining up for a sell. So that's why I took it, got out real quick. But I didn't really get out. It pulled me out because I had my TP set, but it didn't give me a green strip, unfortunately. There's something about the green strip. I don't know if it happens to you guys too, but whenever I see the green strip there, it just feels like I don't know. It's just it's a different feeling compared to seeing your profits. Like I could make 1,000 profit and not have a green strip, and I still want that green strip. The green strip just lets my trade psychology know that I let the trade run, even though I did let it run. It didn't close out. It's kind of similar to Natasha's profits from earlier today. She posted her profits. And she hit full TP, but she didn't get the green strip. Yeah, like what Eunice over, or not, sorry, not Eunice, Natasha over here sent in. Yeah, because she had a couple trades here. Like this hit full TP. Obviously, it was over $100, but it didn't give her a green strip. Here are my profits over here. I locked in a total, or Natasha posted some more. She took the trade as well. So nice work right there, Natasha. Total profit of 773 for the day. So great work on that account right there. Looking over here on my account, you guys can see I locked in 830 off my main FTMO account. This is my 400K account. This is my MFF number 1, 660. MFF number 2, 550, and then my MFF number 3, 650 as well. So total profit right there for the day. Speculative move, nothing crazy. I'm still looking for an entry though. So we have a possible momentum scalp failure that's coming up right here on the 1 minute, but it's at news price. So I don't think it's something we can take. All right, so I'll just post this up over here. I'll post up the video too that I was referring to earlier, guys. I'll show you guys the scalping because you know, a lot of people don't like scalping like the way that I trade, but some of the most successful traders like that are actually documented, like that work for hedge funds and big institutions, they all scalp. So that's why I prefer to scalp versus swing trading and intraday trading because it fits my trades trading style. So I'm gonna go ahead and post a link over here. So this is one of the prop firms that I personally that I'm basically modeling my prop firm after. This is firm is trade exactly. Every day making. Yeah, so I'm going to be modeling my prop firm after this company right here, S&B. They're like one of the longest standing prop firms in New York. They pretty much killed it during like the market drop, like when the market started crashing because they were scalping. So they didn't really get caught in a lot of the crazy movements. They just got in and out, made a killing during that time. If you guys want to watch that video, I timestamped it. You know, basically the owner of the firm mentioned that he knows scalpers that make like up to 500K a month just scalping the same way we do. They momentum trade just like I do. I didn't even realize that they were around. If I knew they were around, I probably would have worked for their firm when I started trading because I would have been a good fit for them. But you know, now that I kind of know how to do things myself, I don't really need to work for a firm. I could just create my own firm. So yeah, if you guys want to watch the video, I timestamped it. Like he literally starts at where he says that he knows people and he's like looking for other people to trade that way for his firm. It's an interesting video. You know, it kind of opens up people's acceptance of scalping because I know a lot of people don't like the way I scalp. So here's like the thing, if you guys are like really fast-paced thinkers, scalping is for you, right? You can get in and out of trades very quickly like I do. Like I'll be locking in like, you know, 5-10 trades within like an hour and I'll be up like 10K. If you guys aren't quick thinkers and you guys don't like to think too quick, then, you know, scalping might not be for you. That's why I don't recommend that it's for everybody, but it can be. It can be for everybody, but it's not necessarily for everybody. If you guys are fast and you guys can follow directions, like follow the rules here, scalping would be perfect for you because you can trade for an hour a day and then lock in some pretty good profits. If not, then, you know, maybe intraday or swing trade would be for you. There's a ton of different ways to trade. It's just really figuring out what works best for you and sticking to that trading style. So there's still no entries over here for us right now, guys. Price is still kind of going around at the moment. I do expect price to probably drop down a little further from where it's currently at. See where it's at right now. I took another speculative sell here, guys. Sorry, it happened too quickly. I couldn't tell you guys. I saw the wick rejection right here. That's probably why I kind of paused for a second there, because I saw the rejection here. I saw the rejection there. And I also saw the rejection here on the 10. So I saw this right here, this, and this. And I was like, okay, this is going to drop at least 100 pips. I took that right there for a quick drop. Obviously, it dropped at least 100 pips. That's why 100 pips is like a good baseline for me. Like whenever I scalp, I go for 100 pips because I know I can get in and out super quickly and not get caught in this position here. So I took another speculative move there, not an official trade. Obviously, there's no entries for us to take at the moment, but I locked in my profit. So I locked in about 1,000 on there. Got my green strip. That was what I was looking for. I was waiting for that green strip, and I was like, where was the green strip at? So I got my green strip there, thankfully. These trades happen quickly. You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand. Don't worry if you guys aren't taking any trades right now. Eventually, at some point in the future, guys, you guys will be at this level where you guys can just see what I'm looking at on the chart. You guys can just take a glance at my chart here. You can obviously see that price is going to come down, right? Like I was literally explaining this video, and it took me less than a second, and I saw the wick rejection, wick rejection, wick rejection. I took the sell and I locked in a quick 100 pips. This doesn't work all the time though, so don't use this all the time. The only reason I'm taking this here is because I'm already looking for a sell, right? So if I'm looking for a sell already, obviously if I see a direction of hints that price is going to come down, I could take it for a quick 100 pips. But you guys shouldn't just take wick rejections, because I know some of you guys here are going to start taking every single wick rejection. You guys should not do that, because that can be very detrimental to your account. So if you guys know what you're doing, great. Follow along to what I'm doing with these speculative moves. But if you guys don't know what you're doing, stick to the strategies. There's no entries here, as you guys can see. For the past, let's see, candles right here. For the past 40 minutes, we were looking for a momentum scalp failure, right? In order for us to have a momentum scalp failure, we need a buy signal. So in the last 40 minutes, there's no entries for us to take here. So it's not that I'm not taking trades. It's just that there's no entries here available. So following my trading plan, these are the official strategies. And then also in between, I'll take these speculative moves because I know where price is going. It's just intuition. If you guys have been trading as long as I have, or if you guys have been on these live sessions with me, you guys will start to see that a lot of these play out. Looks like a lot of you guys here took it too. Seth caught it, Natasha caught it, and Brian caught it as well. So great work, guys. I just posted up my profits over here in the group, or let me check real quick. So here are my profits right here. I'll take a screenshot of that as well. It's getting close to 8, so unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to have any official entries. I mean, I think this whole week we haven't had any official entries, right? It was a holiday week, so we had a short week, plus the market wasn't really moving directional until today. This whole week's been kind of slow. All right, so there's my FTMO. There's been some slippage from my MFFs. It's fine, it happens, but it's a heads up. That would have gave me more because it blasted right through, but it didn't. So I locked in 1,000 per account, so pretty happy with that. All right, so here are my profits so far. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any official entries that didn't meet the red flags. I mean, there was official entries today, but they were all around the red flags, so we couldn't actually take them if I was, following my strategy as I'm supposed to. So here are my profits so far. There's just 2 speculative trades I took. I finally got that green strip on this one. Total profit of 1,950 off my 400K FTMO account. Here's my MFF account, locked in a total profit of 1,570. My second MFF, 1,540. And then my MFF number 3, 1,540 as well. So decent profit for the week, or not, I mean, for the day, I guess, not the week, but for the day. So 1950 plus 1570 plus 1540 plus 1540. So a total profit of 6,600 for the day, which is, I mean, could have been more, but it's all good. There was like 4 entries that came up today. So like market over here at 6:30, there was a momentum scalp failure, but it was at the sessions. That would have been a nice TP right there. There was another momentum scalp variation that came up right here, full TP, momentum scalp failure, or sorry, momentum scalp. So there was 3 entries that came up right here, but we couldn't take them because it was right at the session. So, I mean, you could have taken them if you wanted to. I think some of you guys took it, not everyone, but some of you guys did take the trade, locked in profit off this here. So that's 3 trades right there that would have came up, but because of the red flags, I didn't take them myself and they wouldn't be considered official entries. We had another momentum scalp failure right here, momentum scalp variation. This right here would have skipped because there was news. So basically 5 entries right here, 3 right here, 2 right here, and then 1 more right here. So about like 6 entries that came up today, official entries, but due to the red flags, we couldn't take them as official entries. However, the criteria was met for the strategies right here. So let me see, I'll look over at everyone's profits so far. So there's a lot of you guys here who did make profits. A lot of the more experienced traders here, if you guys know what you're doing and you guys know how to follow my analysis, looks like a lot of you guys here did lock in some profit. If you guys are not at that level yet, don't worry, you will be at that level eventually. Just sit in on more live sessions and understand my analysis and pick up on my lingo. If you guys can understand like my little keywords that I use when I'm, calling these trades or I'm looking for specific entries, you guys will be able to hop into these trades as well. They're not too difficult to cash. It's just, you have to know what you're doing. Some profits over here from Seth. Seth's currently at 23,940 for the day. Basically all wins except for the small loss down here. So great work right there, Seth. Looks like you pretty much let your trades run too. Some more profits down here from, let's see, from Wesley. Wesley locked in a total profit of 625 for the day, just 1 sell, straight wins. Nice work, Wesley. So great consistency right there. We have Sam over here. He said made a mistake in London, but made it back today in New York. So unfortunately, Sam over here made a small mistake over here during London session, took a loss, but then he made it right back this morning. A total profit of 700 for the day. Great work, Sam. Then we have Vincent over here. Vincent took that trade with us as well. The sell right there that came up, total profit of 144.64 for the day, all wins. So nice green strips right there, Vincent. All right, so Vincent said he's done for the day. And here's Zach. So Zach said, best week I've had. Let's see if these wins this week were a fluke or a new consistency. Thanks for everything. I'll catch you next week. Definitely, Zach. Great profits today. Total profit of 6,267. You only took 3 trades. Amazing. So great work right there, Zach. So here's Zach's profits for this week. Zach's like literally been killing it this entire week. I don't know what got into Zach, but he's like on point. He's actually like following his trading plan. You guys can see over here. So he started this week with 23,000 in profit on Monday. It was a holiday too, and he still made a lot of profit on that day. On Tuesday, he locked in 10,000. Wednesday, he locked in 8,000. So this is like every single day. You can see the daily summary right here. So Monday locked in 23,000, Tuesday 10,000, Wednesday 8,000. It's like a light bulb just went on in like Zach's head where he's like following his trading plan, which is great. And then again today, he's now up 6,000. So pretty much straight wins every single day this week, Zach. Yeah, no, I'm glad. So I'm always happy to see a lot of you guys find success after finding a lot of hardship. And that's just, so Zach's like a pretty good example to not give up, right? Because Zach here was not doing great. He'd win a little bit and then he'd have like a horrible day. And then he'd win a little bit and then have another horrible day, right? Like he has a consistency. It's just that he'll have one day where he kind of just goes crazy and loses all his profits. But this week, he's actually been really good. So Zach's like one of the people here who didn't find success right away, but he's finally getting to that point. So what I recommend is, always stick to your game plan, guys, and stick to like one strategy, whether 1 or 2 strategies or these 3 strategies right here. I mainly focus on just these 2 down here. So for me, mainly, it's just this one right here, momentum scalp and momentum scalp variation. I use a momentum scalp failure as just a confluence. So I mean, if you focus on just these 2 right here, I think you guys should be perfectly fine. And then once you guys get better, you can start taking these speculative trades with me that I've been taking kind of behind the scenes. I typically only take speculative moves when the market's kind of like slow because there's no entries for us to take here. I know it's not a good habit, but it could be a good habit if you do it properly. It becomes a bad habit when you start to get greedy and you start to take every single trade. Like for example, right here, I could already picture some people taking buys here because you guys can see wick rejection right here. I already know that there's a couple people in the group. I'm not going to say their name, but you probably know that I'm talking about you. I'll tell you not to do something and you'll do it. Like just because I said a wick rejection over here for the sell that I took earlier, I already know that certain people in this group, and this isn't just to pick on you, but this is to like kind of give you a wake up call. Just because I say a wick rejection here doesn't mean just because there's a wick rejection right here to take a buy, right? Because I know, like, if you guys have been trading with me for a while, I probably know you pretty well to the point where I know I know how you think when you look at the charts. So the reason why I took the wick rejection here was because we're looking for a sell bias. We have a sell bias here, obviously, right? We're looking for a sell because everything here is pointing towards a sell. And then also we have sentiment over here. So sentiment 60% long. This indicates that 60% of retail traders are currently selling. So obviously I'm only looking for sells here. So that's why when I saw the wick rejections off the top, that's why I took the sell here. Just because you have a wick rejection on the bottom doesn't mean that you should take a buy here. This doesn't mean price is going to push up at least 100 pips, right? On top of that, see, if you took the trade here, you would have been in some massive drawdown. So make sure that you guys are understanding what I'm explaining here, and you guys aren't just taking random trades. Also, it's right at the red flag news price. So I do not recommend you guys just take random trades. If you guys are taking a speculative trade, that's perfectly fine, but actually have a strategy to it or have some sort of analysis pointing in that direction. So if you were to take any speculative trades right now, it'd be for a sell. It would not be for a buy because everything here is still pointing towards a sell, right? So like one thing that I'd personally be looking for here is I can see how price is rejecting off the pivots, right? It hasn't closed yet, but if this does close in the next like 7 minutes or so, then odds of it continuing to drop are very likely. But that 7 minutes too long. It's already 8 o'clock, so it's past our trading session time. And I think I'm going to be wrapping it up. So Natasha said name drop so I can laugh. No, I wouldn't do that. But I do this with good intentions, guys. Like I've been trading with a lot of you guys here for a while, and I know that a lot of you guys have this similar problem where you guys aren't really comprehending my analysis or like understanding what I'm explaining. So, if that's the case, my advice is to attend the mentoring sessions and ask questions there so that I can show you and explain to you, what was done incorrectly. One thing that I'll do here real quick is I'm going to take a look at here. Let me see if Shaka is still here. Okay, Shaka is still here. Great. So Shaka, I'm gonna look at your trade that you marked that you sent me earlier today. Let me just look at everyone's profits real quick. Dijon over here, total profit of 1,235 for the day. Great work, Dijon. This seems to be like a common issue for you, where like you start the day with a loss, but then you make your way back. Let's fix that because it looks like that happened the other day too, right? Yeah, this happened with you the other day too. Yeah, because I'm just saying, like, if you didn't have this loss here, you'd be in profit like 2,000 on this day, right? This was on the 16th, and then today. Yeah, Dijon said I got to get the pregame jitters out. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think you just got to wait a little longer because it seems like your losses happen right on open. You take this entry right here, and price is kind of spiking around at 632, and then your other trade over here as well. Yeah, a little too early. So maybe just wait for the market to stabilize a little bit because, like, for example, here, if you would have avoided this loss, you would have been in profit well over 2,000, which is a big difference, basically double profits for the day. All right, so I'm just going to go over here real quick and I'm going to take a look at Shaka's question. And then from there, we will wrap it up for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat and then we will take a look to clarify anything that you guys need help with. So Shaka said he took this trade over here at 9:21 my time. So let me go over here real quick. I can't remember where the news price was yesterday, but I was watching the charts yesterday because I really wanted to take a trade, but it just didn't meet my criteria. So let's see, you said 9:20. All right, so I'm gonna go to, so I think, here, let me just pull it up real quick. I can't remember if there was news going on yesterday, but let me just check real quick. So Shaka said he was looking for these variations at like 921. Let me go here real quick and refresh. All right, so I think the main problem right here, Shaka, was that it was right at the sessions. You guys can see how the sessions are right here. I'm not sure if you had the sessions on, but yeah, it looks like you took some heavy losses over here at 924 and 933. Okay, so at 924, weird. So I'm looking over here and it looks like if you took a trade at 924, it looks like it should have hit because this was a momentum scalp failure right here. I'm looking at your timestamp. So you took this trade at 924. If you took that as a momentum scalp right there, or momentum scalp failure, this looks like it should have hit your TP. Yeah, so this one over here did hit TP. I don't know how you took a loss there. Hey, Shaka, are you still here? I mean, I see you on the list. I'm not sure if you're still paying attention though. Let me just, I'm gonna go and, oh, exit prices. Okay, so 921. So, okay, I'm gonna look for the entries here that you, so it looks like you would have taken this one right here then, right? Because if you took it right before, it'd be this one. The main thing that I would have avoided on this one, Shaka, would be that it was at the sessions, right? Because if you, so you said you took a variation. This would be the variation entry right here. So one of the main things that I would have avoided for this specifically was that it was at the sessions, right? This is like pretty clear it's at the sessions. So for me personally, that's the main reason why I wouldn't have taken this one here. Also, depending on your TP stop loss, it looks like it might have hit your TP. If you were going for only 100 pips, it would have hit your TP, but oh, gotcha. Yeah, your session. So Shaka's sessions indicator was off. Unfortunately, I think that's the main thing that kind of screwed you over here, was because your indicator was off and you didn't see that price is right there. You can see how price gets kind of manipulated around this area, right? Let me just zoom out a little bit. So this is, again, like why I don't trade around the sessions, because let me just turn off the volume too. I'll just turn off everything real quick. So yeah, if you guys can see here, where when price gets near the sessions, it just goes sideways and it's not a good area to trade. So I think, like your question earlier, you were asking, you know, when to identify when price is, when the trend's going to shift, right? I think the main hint here that price was going to shift was because price was going sideways for a while, and then also the session. So price kept faking out right here. It came back below, faked out, came back above, faked out, came back below. It just kept faking out, right? Because there was no direction. It came back below, came up, came down, came up, came back down. And then it finally went, you know, the opposite direction. So, you know, this is an example why I avoid trades whenever we're around these red flags. I mean, the sessions are like one of the more important ones, because you guys can see here, whenever price got near the sessions over here too, a lot of manipulation, right? Price got to it, went sideways for a bit, faked out, came right back down. And then it did the same thing over here before making its way up. So I think I mean, that's probably just the main thing that you probably could have done differently, Shaka, was to make sure that price was near the sessions. But I think other than that, if you would have taken a trade that wasn't at the session, so like, I mean, looking at the other entries here, not just the variation, but there was like momentum scalp failure that came up there. And let me see if there's anything else that was around that area. Yeah, because it looks like there's other entries here that came up and they would have been fine, but you can see these two momentum scalps right here. This one right here, I think you might have taken both of these, right? That one and this one right here. They are like literally at the session. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that you ate those losses, but at least now you kind of understand, you know, what could have been done differently. Yeah, I know it sucks. You like literally took him at the worst time for both of these right here. It seems like if there wasn't a sessions there, it would have been perfect because the other ones over here were playing through, right? This one was at 8:05. It was out in the open. There's no sessions here at all. You could have taken this one. It would have been perfect straight to your profit target. So it's all good. You live and you learn. At least your account isn't blown. That's the main thing, right? As long as your account isn't blown, you have the ability to bounce back from it. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. It's 8:10 right now, so it's way past our live trading session time. We typically end at 8. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, you guys can message me on Telegram, probably the fastest way to get in touch. But if you guys have anything else, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Take a rest, guys. So I know a lot of you guys are just addicted to the charts and you guys want to keep charting all day long. I think you should take a break and then come back on Monday fresh, because right now the market's not looking good anyways. So there's no reason to really force anything at the moment. And don't try to take anything speculative here that you're not completely sure about, right? Because I could kind of like, I'm looking at the chart right now and I could see a lot of people anticipating that price is going to go like way up. I can see it go up slightly, but I don't know if it's going to go way up. So I'd probably be careful about taking anything too speculative right now. So just be safe and I'll see you guys back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. Catch you guys.